This was comfortable. Familiar. This was a couple who had been together for a while. I sat there frozen, watching them, my wine getting warm in my hand. Sarah was beautiful in that effortless way some women are. Long blonde hair, perfect skin, wearing a black dress that probably cost more than my rent. Jake was handsome too, in a corporate pretty boy kind of way. Tall, well-dressed, confident. They looked like they belonged together. Like they had always been together. I know this sounds crazy. And honestly, if someone told me this, I would not believe them either. But just wait. I watched them for 20 minutes. 20 minutes of intimate touches, whispered conversations, the kind of chemistry you cannot fake. At one point, Sarah pulled out her phone and showed Jake something that made him laugh so hard he nearly knocked over his wine glass. She reached over and steadied it, and the gesture was so natural, so automatic, that I knew without a doubt they had done this dance 1,000 times before. That is when Marcus arrived. I saw him before he saw me, scanning the restaurant with that smile I was already falling for. He looked incredible in a navy suit and tie, his hair perfectly styled. When he spotted me at the bar, his whole face lit up. "Sorry I am late," he said, kissing my cheek. Traffic was insane coming from the office. Jake and I were working on this huge presentation for Monday and time just got away from me. My stomach dropped. His business partner Jake, who was currently feeling up his ex-girlfriend 30 feet away from us. Marcus ordered a whiskey neat and started telling me about his day, completely oblivious to the drama unfolding behind him. The presentation they were working on could land them their biggest client yet. A contract that would set them up for years. Jake had been putting in crazy hours, he said. Staying late every night this week, coming in on weekends. Really going above and beyond. I nodded and smiled and made appropriate responses while my mind raced. Should I tell him? Should I pretend I did not see anything? Should I suggest we go somewhere else? I kept glancing over at Sarah and Jake, praying they would leave before Marcus noticed them. But they seemed to be settling in for a long evening. They ordered appetizers, another bottle of wine. Sarah excused herself to go to the bathroom and walked right past our table. She did not recognize me, but I got a good look at her face. Glowing, happy, completely smitten. This was a woman in love. We were seated at our table with a perfect view of their corner booth. Marcus sat with his back to them, thank God, but I could see everything. Every touch, every smile, every intimate moment. I tried to focus on our conversation, but it was impossible. Marcus was telling me about his college years, his family, his plans for expanding the business. All I could think about was how Jake was planning to expand more than just the business. Dinner was torture. Marcus was being charming and funny and perfect, and all I wanted to do was shake him and tell him that his best friend and business partner was betraying him in the worst possible way. Because it was not just about Sarah. I mean, yes, finding out your ex moved on would hurt. But this was his business partner. His best friend since college. The person he trusted to build his dreams with. How long had this been going on? Did it start before Sarah and Marcus broke up? Was that why she said they felt like roommates? Because she was getting her passion elsewhere? The questions were eating me alive. By the time dessert arrived, Sarah and Jake were getting handsy again. She was practically sitting on his lap, running her fingers through his hair. Jake had his hand on her lower back, pulling her closer. They were in their own little world, completely shameless. And then Marcus said something that made my heart break into a million pieces. You know what I realized this week? He said, reaching across the table to take my hand. I spent so much time wondering what went wrong with Sarah, if I could have done something differently. But meeting you made me understand that sometimes things end because they are supposed to. Because something better is waiting. I stared at him, this incredible man who was looking at me like I was his future, while his past was literally playing out behind him in the most devastating way possible. His thumb was tracing circles on my hand and I felt like I was going to throw up. I have never told anyone this next part. Marcus kept talking about how excited he was about us, about where this could go. How he had not felt this connected to someone in years. And honestly, that was not even the worst part. If this has you on the edge of your seat, smash that like and subscribe. Part 3 is where it gets really bad.